Hello there, what is going on, everybody? We are talking about Tours of Duty, a brand new narrative campaign system for Star Wars Legion, and it's a new way to play that you can play right now. Let's talk about this in today's video. Friday, AMG dropped this an article that has an entirely new way to play, and it's available immediately, and it's pretty cool. The concept is that it's a campaign. And you're playing some kind of a ragtag bunch, up and coming unit within your chosen faction, and you're gonna play multiple games, and earn extra points, and maybe take some setbacks for the guys that die, and try to request reinforcements and things like that. So it's going to be where your force kind of grows and tells their own story, which is a very interesting concept. If you guys are new here to the channel, we talk a lot about Legion and other Star Wars games, a lot of other tabletop games. I'd love to have you guys stick around. We are doing a new round of the giveaway right now, a $25 Amazon gift card giveaway. It's going to run for about 2 weeks. If you want to have a chance to enter to win that, just subscribe and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. Make sure you're subscribed if you were already. A lot of subscriptions have been dropping off lately, so just double check that, triple check that. Make sure you're subscribed, and you can check links down in the description if you want to jump in our Discord or anything else like that. We've got links for all that down below. That being said, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about this. This was dropped on Friday. All the documents, there's 3 different documents. There's a rules document and a couple of other supporting documents for you to create your register, which is going to be like your organization, right? You're going to be able to create them. There's going to be different cards. There's going to be agendas. There's going to be, all these different cards that go into what is your group trying to do? Who is your paragon or the hero, like the Luke Skywalker for your group's story? Who's the hero that's leading them? You have to use all generic characters, though. You can't run unique characters in your outfit, in your group. You kind of need all generics, which of course works really well with all the new custom commanders. However, the Clone Wars era ones aren't out yet. I think you can probably still run like a generic clone commander, but there may be some ways, but it's going to be, the Clone Wars characters are going to have an easier time doing this soon once those custom commanders come out. So that is a thing to think of. But let's go ahead and look at Tours of Duty and jump into that. So they dropped this article, and this came out on Friday. I've been at Crucible, which is a QuestCon's a tournament here in Orlando, Florida. It's a massive 3-day tournament for Star Wars Legion, biggest in the Southeast, maybe the biggest in the world. It's a really big tournament. We had like a massive amount of players. I played more Legion over the last couple of days than I've ever played in any group of days. 6 games in 2 days. I didn't make day 3, but I'll talk more about that later. But I am very much, very much up to my ears in Legion right now, and it's like now that the tournament's over and the convention's over, I'm settling down and kind of getting into all of the stuff for Tours of Duty. So I haven't talked about this yet. I know there are a lot of people have been asking me questions. I've seen a lot of comments talking about Tours of Duty. So this is a pretty interesting thing. Again, it's a campaign, multiple missions. When you win enough missions, you can trigger a turning point mission, which can give you some really snazzy benefits and unlock potential for your unit. You are playing only generic, so you're going to have a particular hero who's the hero of the story, probably your custom commander or operative or something like that. And it is pretty interesting. Now, there are 3 documents. These are over at atomicmassgames.com. If you go up there and you click on their Star Wars section, you have Star Wars Legion, you have rules and organized play. You're going to be able to get to those sections from there. There is a rule book. It's 13 pages. I will say this: it seems like it operates really slow. So the rule book has a lot of everything you need to know to be able to run this, but in short, it's going to be quite a few missions. Now, the interesting thing about it is you're going to be kind of treating this like an RPG. You're going to have a register is kind of like your outfit, like Bravo Company, 335th, clone brigade or whatever, right? You and again, you can have a certain amount of points. You have different ranks for different units. Each unit, they're going to call it a dossier. And this is where you're going to keep track of their rank, and they have a certain maximum rank depending on what their actual unit rank is. So if they're a core, they can only go up to, I think, like rank 2 or 3. But if they're an operative, they can go up to rank 4, and a commander can go up to rank 5, things like that. And special forces can go kind of high on there too. And some of those ranks are prerequisites for certain perks and benefits and things that you can get. Agendas, these are like ongoing things. Hey, we're trying to unlock this thing, so we're going to do this agenda. And at the end of each battle, or depending on when the agenda says it, like maybe every kill gets you this, or every time you make somebody panic, you gain points for this, or if you win without dying and things like that, right? Those are going to give you progression on your agenda, and once the agenda gets completely completed, it'll unlock additional things for your unit. And so you can and there's a lot of different agendas in their cards PDF that has all of that. And so this is just multiple sheets for you to track all the guys that are in your army, but they're calling it your register. I will say this about this campaign system. There are a lot of new keywords, register, agendas, dossiers, all of these things, and so it's a lot to take in all at once. Every faction has one of these like double-sided cards. So this is going to be your the thing that triggers your story arc mission. This is going to be but there's only one per. I'm sure they're going to do more of them as well. And then they're going to have, this is like your turning point mission. So when you have enough wins in the campaign, you can trigger a turning point mission. This is going to be a set mission with a set secondary and a set advantage, and then victory conditions, and what happens after when you win or lose. On that faction's thing, you're also going to have custom setbacks, custom defining traits, and custom commendations. And there are generic versions of these as well, but there's a die roll that goes in. And so like when you're able to get when a unit has to get, I think like if a unit dies at the end of the game, they can get a setback. You roll a black die or a red die or something like that, an attack die. And depending on the result, you can get a setback from a specific chart, or you might get the setback off of this card. So there's different things, and these are going to make basically give you faction specific stuff. So we have bring peace to the galaxy for the Empire, and we have liberate the system for the rebels, and then their custom turning point mission. There's a peacekeeping mission for the Republic and their turning point mission, and then a separatist one and their turning point mission. You also have a lot of different cards. These are the agendas. And these are going to, there's, what is this? 3, 6, 9, 12. Is it 9 or 12 of these? You're getting a whole lot of different agendas that, again, you can print these out and play with these right now. Definitely, if you're going to go with if you're going to look at the PDF of the rulebook, I would suggest downloading it as a PDF. Don't try to open it in your web browser. For some reason, the graphics in here just, they make it operate very, very slowly for me. I try to page down. It takes, 20 seconds before it wants to do it. So, I don't know. It's that one PDF just acts very, very strange to me. But there it goes. You're moving through it a little bit. But it's an entire rulebook, 13 pages, telling you how to build a register. And how to do it. It's pretty interesting. So that's just a quick look at Tours of Duty. It's got the narrative component. It's got the campaign component. I think a lot of people like stuff like this. I struggle with games like this from time to time because I play a lot of different games. And when you're doing a campaign, you're kind of committing to, I'm just going to play, this one faction, and I'm going to play just this one game. And so I'm only playing Star Wars Legion for the next, 12 games or however many it will really take to complete it. And since I'm only playing Star Wars Legion, I'm also only playing Rebels, for example. And since I'm only playing Rebels, I'm also only playing this one list. I mean, it'll grow a little bit and it'll gain new things. But as somebody who has all of the factions in Legion, I like to vary it up. And as somebody who also plays lots of other games, I like to vary up which games I'm going to play. So I struggle to do a campaign, so I don't know if this is for me specifically. But I have done campaigns before for other games, and they tend to be pretty rewarding, especially if Legion is your main game. I think this is going to be very rewarding for you. What I really wonder, and I mentioned a multi-day tournament that I just came from. I wonder if something like this could be run as a narrative event at a convention, at an Adepticon, at a Gen Con, at an LVO, at a Nova or a Crucible or something like that. I wonder if Tours of Duty would be something that could be run in maybe 3 games, or if there's an abbreviated version of it that could run in only 3 games, that could kind of make for a good side event. Like, hey, I don't know if I can do the full 2-day event, or maybe I got eliminated on day 1, and then day 2 is going to be the narrative campaign, because there are other games that do convention-style narrative events. GW does this with a lot of their games. The Middle Earth strategy game, or Middle Earth Battle, the Middle Earth game does a whole lot of stuff like that. And being able to do a narrative campaign in a single day at a convention could be a really, really cool thing. From looking this over, it looks like this would take more than a single day, even if you were really dedicated. This looks like it's going to be lots of games. And so I wonder if it could be shrunk down into be something that could be done in a single day at a convention or not. Because I think if this could get organized and could be run with organized play in conjunction with organized play, and could be run as a side event at Adepticon and things like that, I think that could be really cool. But I don't know if tournament organizers would want to take away from their championship, from Worlds. Like, do you want to play in Worlds, or do you want to play in the narrative event? Maybe you want to do both, and you're like, why couldn't they have just done this on a different thing, So I think that there's some give and take for stuff like that, but it would be cool if there was an option to do it, especially if it could be a day that after the tournament's over, it's, I'm also doing the narrative event or something like that. They do a lot of team events and some other kind of things like that for folks that don't make it into the final day, so they have something else that they can play while they're at the con. And that would be a really cool place for stuff like this, if that, if it could be condensed into a single day. If it could, I could also see a lot of gaming groups running these at their stores. Hey, come on out, next Saturday we're going to be doing, Legion Tour of Duty, the condensed version, all in one day, over 3 or 4 rounds, something like that could be really cool. But this is also great for your gaming groups, I think, if you're going to be playing, Legion every week, and you want to, pair up against somebody and say, let's run this campaign and do it. So I think it's got potential. I think if it can be run at conventions, it's going to grow legs a little bit more and really take off. I feel like AMG has tried a lot of different new game modes, and I don't know how successful all of them have been, but I do think it's cool that they're trying. I think one of the ways that you succeed is you try a lot of different things and see what works and see what doesn't. And community feedback is the way to see how well it's going to work and how well it's not going to work. Like Spec Ops, for example, is one of those things that I see them trying and coming up with new stuff, but I have never seen anybody play. Granted, that doesn't mean people aren't playing. I didn't see anybody at this tournament playing it, but that doesn't mean they're not doing it. I think if they had a physical product for it, it would do better. Same thing goes with this. If they have a box for a campaign and it's on store shelves, I think more people are going to get involved. But I think when you restrict it to being PDF only, I think it's got a little bit less appeal for some folks. And let me know if you agree or disagree. This is just me shooting from the hip. I do think it's an interesting system, and I think it could appeal to a lot of people. I think it would do a little bit better if there was a physical product to accompany it, and maybe if it becomes popular enough, maybe there will be demand for them to do that. And a free PDF is a way for them to kind of see, is this something the community is interested in? And if so, how much interest is there? Is this enough for it to warrant being developed into a physical product? Again, I don't know. There's already a lot of physical product already, so this is just an alternate way for you to use your stuff. Even if it's not for me, I applaud them for trying it because it seems like a cool idea. And if you guys are running it, let me know down in the comments section below. And if there's enough people trying to run campaigns and maybe you want some Discord channels and the Discord, specifically for a campaign. We've done this before in the past, and it saw a lot of success, especially like in the Armada campaigns. We had multiple campaigns going at the same time for a little while. They had separate Discord channels. We could work something like that out. So maybe again, if the demand is there, then maybe we'll see how it goes. All right, that's going to do it for today's video. Stay tuned for more Legion stuff. We got a lot more Legion to talk about this week and next week, and it's going to be for a while. And then, of course, in November, we got Mini Stravaganza. There's going to be a lot of news coming out of Mini Stravaganza, so stay tuned for all of that stuff. That's going to do it for this video. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Big thanks to my patrons. You guys are absolutely amazing and help make this whole channel possible. I will talk to you later. May the force be with you. Live long and prosper. Be excellent to each other. The spice must flow. You can't take the sky from me. And with great power comes great responsibility. Always watch your socks.